So welcome to this month's Teams and Partners Snack and Learn session, where we're going to learn more about which applications that we use every day and how we can bring those into our Teams workspace. And really the point of that is enhancing our productivity. So I'm Travis. With me is Doug. We're both Microsoft customer success managers in the retail and consumer goods business. And really our motivation is to help our customers drive adoption of Office 365 through education and business value. And one of our key focuses is really on Microsoft Teams and sharing the platform or collaborative apps value. Collaborative apps is the new term that we're using this year. So we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what that means. But we're super excited to have our friends from Adobe join us today to share how they can help accelerate business processes, drive efficiencies, and share some new scenarios that are probably going to resonate with you all. Before we get going, just a couple of house notes here is that the session is going to be recorded, as you're probably being notified. It will be made available probably within the next 24 hours or so at this Adobe snackable link that is clickable now, but it just won't bring you anywhere. It'll actually probably bring you to last year's snackable session with Adobe, so some refreshed content. As always, please stay muted. If you have a question or a comment, raise your hand, we'll call on you, or just post it in the chat as well. And then we love hearing your feedback. If you want to connect with us, Adobe, us with Adobe, we'd love to have those conversations to learn a little bit more about what we can do, or what other applications you'd like to learn more about in the future. Your feedback matters. Also, opportunity to win a cool prize. All right. So as customers are looking to the future, we've heard multiple times that you need a single solution to kind of enable hybrid work. You want to manage your applications more efficiently, promote collaboration across geographies and time zones, optimize processes, and simply stay connected with your dispersed workforce. You want to enable and foster that culture of engagement and connection, right? As we're all kind of missing that these days. And that's what collaborative apps on Teams really provides. Teams is the only technology platform that brings the power of collaborative apps into your everyday activities to help you easily work with others to complete projects at any time from anywhere without really needing to switch across multiple apps and data points. So you've probably seen that if you ever go to the Teams App Store that there's like a new app every single day. Well, there's now over 800 third-party applications in the Teams App Store. And we really built a platform where you can bring apps directly into your workspace where you meet and you're already working there, right? So this helps reduce some of the fragmentation across your teams that you work on, helps you keep your effectiveness up, and allows you to simply to stay in the flow of your work. Just a quick example there is, maybe you've got a DevOps team. They use Jira Cloud as an example, or GitHub, and they build, test, and release software directly in Teams. Or your customer service or support teams, they use ServiceNow, and they manage and respond to service requests all in Teams. Or even you have HR finance teams. They use marketing leading apps like Workday and Adobe Sign to streamline common workflows, again, all on Teams. So this is where we're going to have Fred and Garrett from Adobe share their perspective. Guys, what can you tell us?
All right. Thank you very much. Hey, everybody. My name is Fred Tucci, and I'm a partner manager with Adobe. I'm just going to change this a little bit, the view. So when you think about all the things that are going on right now in our space, whether it be COVID related or whether it be just around digital experiences, this partnership is probably more prevalent or more impactful and more relevant than ever, right? You think about 60% of executives still feel like they're behind in digital transformation. Digital transformation has been talked about for probably the last 10 to 15 years, and there's still 60% of executives feel they're behind. 80% of the processes, the document processes that exist out there still rely on paper. 19% of the organizations out there have visibility, have excellent data visibility. That means that 81% of the organizations out there are losing sight of their data. And in a lot of instances, this is PII data, this is private data that needs to be secured, and 81% of organizations out there are losing sight of that. And then 44% of organizations have faced legal or regulatory action in the last 3 years around data privacy. So pretty significant triggers when you think about what's going on right now in the space from a digital transformation, digital document transformation perspective. This is what Garrett and I want to accomplish in the next 10 or 15 minutes. We want all of you to gain a better understanding of the Adobe and Microsoft partnership. We want you to understand how our solutions can be jointly leveraged to drive workforce productivity. And we want to talk about what's relevant to you, right? Where are the use cases? Where can you start to think about how this partnership and this combination of applications can help all of you overcome some of the triggers and some of the real life things that are happening in our space today. Adobe and Microsoft, right? When you think about these two organizations, it's over 80 years of experience in transforming customers digitally, right? We say at Adobe that we're all about creating exceptional digital experiences. Well, Microsoft shares that same passion. And when you have two companies like this that have been in the space for, again, over 80 years, that have existing footprints, that have good relationships, good reputations, and we're combining the capabilities that we have, it really ultimately for all of you delivers incremental value, whether it's an investment in Adobe, whether it's an investment in Microsoft, or whether it's an investment in both. We're going to help up-level those applications and deliver even greater value to investments that you've already made. And it's not just, we're going to talk about Adobe Sign today. We're going to talk Adobe Sign as it pertains to Teams. We're also going to touch a little bit about, on the M365 suite as well, holistically. But when we talk about this integration, it doesn't just start and stop at Adobe Sign. We have integrations with Microsoft tools with both our Creative Cloud and as well as our Acrobat or our Adobe PDF Cloud. So it's across our three clouds when we talk about this relationship. It's not just at the Adobe Sign level. So with that, I'm going to go to the next slide, which is actually a demonstration for all of you to really get a feel for how Adobe Sign and Teams work together.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that. Oh, we stopped sharing. I tried to take control there.
You should have it. No?
I'll bring it right up here for you.
Sorry about that, Travis.
All good. Do you want to talk about, as we bring it up, Garrett, just kind of talk about what we just saw, all the content up in just a moment?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So we did see a couple of things there. Since we're focusing on Adobe Sign today, we saw a lot of features inside Adobe Sign, which you'll see right when this slide pops up. Let's go take control. Thank you. Let's move this way. It's loading. And all right. Okay, that should work. Okay, we saw a couple of features and functionality there. One of the main ones that we saw is Live Sign, that feature with Adobe Sign, making those signing ceremonies more personable. But some other features that are available to you inside Microsoft Teams, and I think that's the message that we're trying to portray here, is this is such an easy add-on for your customers if they are using Microsoft Teams. It's basically giving them the capabilities to send documents for signature without having to leave that instance of Microsoft Teams. And that's the bread and butter here, right? They can track and manage and set reminders inside Microsoft Teams. They can fill and sign without leaving the application. Mobile first for working on documents on the go. So if your customers are out of the office, they can still access these tools, and they can manage approvals with Teams. And then, of course, that face-to-face signing. This is a great slide to kind of show the breadth and the depth of the partnership. You saw a couple integrations in that video, but we're integrated into virtually y'all's entire stack. I mean, Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, Dynamics 365, Power Automate. We have drag and drop capabilities there too. So if you want to add Adobe Sign into a workflow, custom workflow, we make it super easy. And all this stuff is out of the box and ready to go. Basically, all you do is have to put in the integration key and your customers can get up and running stat. Okay, so we're talking about retail here specifically. We thought it would be great to provide some use cases around Adobe Sign in retail. I wish that I had a super cool talk track for these slides, but this is one of those slides that I would highly suggest taking a screenshot of. I'll point out a couple use cases that are, I guess, high volume, if you will. So hiring and onboarding, that's always, a lot of documents are processed there. You can streamline a lot of workflows and processes in that category. Employee management, one of the ones that I thought was interesting that I'd like to see actually fulfilled would be in-store hiring. That whole concept is pretty cool to me. Having an employee walk in and being able to fill out applications, upload their resumes inside the store without having to go home and log into a website or whatever it may be. Sales and the shopper experience, high volume, high priority use cases would be, I want to say leasing and financing, credit card applications as well, purchase orders, forms, and invoices. You can see a lot of volume there too. And then procurement and facilities, operation, real estate, and leasing. So if you need to lease equipment for a business or whatever it may be, or retail for whatever purposes, that's also a really good use case as well for sourcing, supplier, and distributor contracting. But I like to think of this slide as like the prescriptive approach. If you have a problem that needs fixing, we can address this need for you, and you can accomplish this all in Microsoft Teams using Power Automate as well to streamline these processes. This next slide is more of a consultative approach. So think of like a strategic business objective, and this is what we're hearing from customers when we're working alongside Microsoft sellers. So workforce productivity using a combination of Microsoft 365, that's just this bucket up here to the left, Adobe Document Cloud, SharePoint, and Microsoft Teams. And these are some use cases that kind of help establish this and drive this, I guess, strategic initiative forward. Sales acceleration is a really big one too. Sales orders, throwing out NDAs to customers, purchase orders, change orders, quotes. Employee life cycle is also one that we see a lot. So employee onboarding, offboarding, maybe contingent worker agreements and time off requests, things like that can all be streamlined and automated. So I'm going to pause here for just a second, make sure everyone has a chance to screenshot this. Again, if you're like me and you take notes in OneNote, I like to take screenshots so I can reference later. Okay.
And I just popped a little, just a quick little poll into the chat just to see if, just to see where folks are today. If they're using Adobe Sign, if they're not yet using Adobe Sign, or if they've integrated already with Teams. So it'd be good to get a pulse of the audience.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too. Thanks, Travis. One thing, if your customers are looking at a solution like this, they are making a good investment. We commissioned Forrester back in 2019 to survey thousands of our customers that have already purchased Adobe Sign and kind of get some feedback on some of the benefits that they've realized. And what we found is 28 times faster cycle times for signatures. So that's accounting for mailing something, $28 saved per document per year. And that actually factors in the average cost of the employee salary. So the numbers actually are pretty high here, a 2.8x to 4.2x return on investment. So typically what we say here at Adobe is once a customer signs on the dotted line, it takes them about 3 to 4 months to break even on their initial investment, which is incredibly fast, even in the software world, in terms of ROI. And then 65 hours saved per year per admin. And when you add that up in a large scale corporation, that's a lot of time that's being saved and a lot of hours and a lot of headache and human errors that are being eliminated too. So this report was actually done by Forrester. We call it the Forrester TEI. It's down here in the left-hand corner. This is a publicly facing document. You can Bing this, you can Google this right now, and it will be one of the first one that pop up. But great asset to flip over to your customers if they're trying to build a business case internally. Okay, the last slide that I want to show is basically how easy it is to integrate this with Adobe or Adobe Sign with Microsoft Teams. And I'm not the most tech savvy individual in the world, but I've done this for many of their channels and Teams channels that we work with. Basically, you just search for the Adobe Sign app. If you create a channel, it should be the first application that pops up. You just click right on it and you add it to that Teams channel. You complete the install and you can start signing. I mean, really, it's that easy. All you would need to do at that point is log into your Adobe Sign instance through Microsoft Teams, and everything would be synced. And then again, you can go back and access other documents that have been sent. You can track and manage documents that are out in the wild waiting for signatures. But again, the bread and butter here is you can do all this without leaving the Microsoft applications that your employees have come to love and work in every single day. We're basically just bringing the tools. What we like to say is bring the tools to where the work gets done. Everyone's getting work done in Outlook, Microsoft Teams, and we're just giving them capabilities like e-signatures and collaboration tools like Document Cloud and Creative Cloud into the applications that they're using.
And don't fret, folks, if you're playing along at home and you're going to your Teams client and going to your app store and looking for Adobe Sign. If you don't see it today, it may potentially be blocked by your IT org. So certainly reach out to your IT org and say, open this app up. We use this all the time. This could be so cool if we were to integrate with Teams and spin something up. So.
Yeah, Garrett, I was going to ask you to comment on that specifically too. Do you have any advice for those on the call that if they don't see it, or they're responsible as administrators for determining what apps are made available in Teams, how they go have those conversations internally?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on who you're talking to, right? You got to tailor that conversation to the individual. But we have so many assets that are available that, and again, the ROI here, the return on investment, tells us that there should be an investment made in solutions like this. And we have assets like the Forrester TEI study. If you're trying to build a business case internally to get this spun up and running, or you can reach out to your IT admin. If you're a paying Adobe Sign customer and you have Microsoft, you should have access to this already. It's basically just getting that API key and allowing access to the users. But very, very simple, honestly.
Appreciate that feedback. Thank you. And I know through the poll, it looks like we have a few folks that have it and haven't implemented into Teams, and we'll talk a little bit later on how we can help you do that, but appreciate the overview on it.
We had one slide here. I don't know, Fred, if you want to take this, I can talk through it too, but We have sites that are dedicated to this partnership. And if you want to learn more about the Microsoft Teams integration and other Microsoft integrations that we have, go to these links here. Again, we also have helpx pages if you know that you have access and the integration is turned on and you're having a hard time seeing those buttons pop up. We have step-by-step guides. Literally just type in Bing or Google helpx, how to integrate Microsoft Teams with Adobe Sign, and you should see a step-by-step guide to get that done.
And I'll assist with that as well, right? If you do come across the situation where you're having trouble with the integration, I'm going to put my email in the chat. It's simple. It's TUCCI, my last name at adobe.com. Happy to help you. So those of you that are currently using Adobe Sign that are looking to capitalize on this integration, if you do have any issues, give me a call. For those of you that don't have Adobe Sign and you may be processing manually or a competitive solution, give me a call as well. Happy to help, happy to have our sales team contact you, happy to take a look at, what your total cost of ownership right now is with your solution or even just with your process and, show you how Microsoft and Adobe can help provide that better together solution, to get you through some of these digital document challenges and requirements.
Appreciate it, guys. And we do have a little bit extra time, so thanks for being efficient today. Sure. With your time available, but it's a pretty straightforward process. Does anybody have any questions and either want to come off mute or drop them in the chat specific to your situation that you're curious about? No? Okay. Well, go ahead, Garrett.
Doug, I'd love to share one story. There was, and just to get the wheels turning for the audience, I worked with this one customer and he just seemed to get it. Like he was fully bought in on Microsoft, fully bought in on Acrobat and Adobe Sign. And I kind of turned him into, I like to call it like my general counsel. So I would bounce ideas off of him. And I asked him one day, I just put 30 minutes on his calendar and we were talking about the benefits of Document Cloud and Microsoft Teams and all of that goodness. And he said something that I'll never forget. And he was a VP of IT or IT director at the time. And he said, Garrett, if I can remove one need for my employees to log in or remove one click from a process, that's a W for me. And that's exactly what we're doing here with these integrations. And we're just allowing access to some of these tools that that you would normally have to log in to access another platform to get these capabilities. And we're in lockstep with Microsoft, and this is just the beginning. So I hope that resonates with some. And sorry, Doug, for taking that time, but I thought that was important.
No, these stories are helpful for everybody. So certainly appreciate you making the time or taking the time here. From a what's next perspective, a couple different asks that we have here for you. Thanks again for your time today, but please fill out the survey. That link, Travis will have that out momentarily here for you, but you can click on it from the slideware. We do have prizes and giveaways. We appreciate your feedback. As Travis and I continue to bring these to the table, we want to make sure we're getting better at these and trying to keep them simple because this process and effort should be simple for you. We have a link to the Creative Cloud and the Adobe Sign demos for you, the click-through demos, and the recording will be available soon. The links below also include the past snackable sessions that we have, so you'll have access to those recordings. And then very soon, next month, we have our next snackable session. That will be with Mural, a very popular application that many of you are actively utilizing or some of your internal folks are leveraging. The Mural team is going to do a great job on the 7th of October, similarly to what the Adobe team did today. But I also know that Travis and I have a few of our peers on the call, our fellow CSMs. They are your customer CSMs. If you have interest or need some help, raise your hand, come to them and let them know, hey, look, loved what I heard about Adobe integration, want to do this. I could use a little hand holding. We have resources that can help walk through that with you or put hands on keyboard and work through your teams with that implementation. So please take advantage of engaging with us and the Adobe team and our resources to help you have success in going forward. I'll pause for a minute. Travis, any other additional comments on your side?
I was pretty impressed that we were very efficient today, and we're like under time for a change. So that's great. I really appreciate the participation, and great stuff, Fred and Garrett. Thanks again for joining us today, and looking forward to working with you folks out there as well, and building scenarios like these out in your own environments.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, folks, for making the time today. We'll get these resources out to you here soon or shortly. If you don't see them, feel free to ping Travis or I through the meeting invites, and we'll be sure to respond accordingly. So have a wonderful day and enjoy fall. So
Thank you.
Thanks all.
take care.
Thanks much.